Wayne Tanaka, in support. Jocelyn Doan, in strong support. Davis Price, in strong support. Oh, Davis, you want to testify? Followed by William or Melva Ida, also in support.
Good afternoon, Senators. Mahalo, I'll try to make this as quick as possible. I just wanted to add to my written testimony, which I focused on outlining what the state's policy has been regarding Native Hawaiian claims to land, self-determination, and the state's commitment to reconciliation. I noted in there in my written testimony the 4 acts that were cited in the Hawaii Supreme Court's decision, as well as pointed to the amicus brief submitted by the Japanese American Citizens League, which very eloquently outlines and emphasizes the state's policy regarding Native Hawaiian claims and possibly what is possibly the reconciliation process. Also, it's something in listening to the Attorney General and representative of the Attorney General speak at various hearings and meetings. He keeps saying that the court ruled that the state lacked good title. I'd like to be clear that that is an interpretation of the Attorney General of the court's opinion, because the court never expressly stated that. So, in building upon my written testimony, this is an issue that the governor has obviously taken to Washington, United States Supreme Court. It's my opinion that the governor could have brought this to the legislature to resolve this matter at a state level. It was unnecessary and, in my opinion, irresponsible to take this matter to Washington to leave the future of Hawaii and Hawaii's lands in the hands of 9 people 5,000 miles away who have no vested interest in Hawaii, and who frankly do not know or care to understand the unique history of Hawaii. So instead of taking this case, bringing it to the legislature to work this out on a state level, they have obviously taken this to Washington. A competent, good leader will make tough decisions and address tough decisions and nip them in the bud. And to me, the legal administration it's kind of removing itself from making a tough decision on this, and they're leaving it in the hands of Washington. So by passing this resolution, either of these resolutions, I do support both of them. I feel like the senators or the legislature could send a clear message to the governor as well as the United States Supreme Court that this is an issue that historically the state has decided to take on and to address at home. So I ask you folks, the legislators, to really stand up for not just Native Hawaiians, but for all the people of Hawaii, because although the Attorney General has said that he's framed his question narrowly to the United States Supreme Court, we do not know how far or to what extent they will make their decision. So to put the future of Hawaii and decisions regarding Hawaii's land in their hands and take it out of they have really left the people of Hawaii's hands tied here. So I ask the legislators to bring that power, at least make an attempt to stand up and bring that power back to Hawaii, because 50 years ago, advocates for statehood were fighting hard to get out of the iron fist of Washington, and now the governor is dragging us back and asking Washington to intervene on state issues. So I'll sum it up and just say, please take a look at passing this resolution, as well as Senate Bill 1085. Senator Taniguchi, I believe the bill has been decked today, so I ask that you request that you please schedule a hearing for that bill as well.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Price? Thank you. Can you in support? Melita Miller Kalama, in support. Is there anyone else who wishes to testify? Okay. Derek Illinois, followed by John. Did you wish to testify?
I'm just here to answer questions.
Oh, okay. Because I don't have testimony. I just wondered if you would.
Illinois, and I'm here on behalf of the Hawaiian Coalition. Jocelyn don't submitted testimony. Chair, he had mentioned her name, but I think she sent me a draft and was submitted on behalf of our entire organization. I just wanted to clarify 2 points. Davis began the discussion on what the Hawaii Supreme Court opinion contained, and there has been some misinformation or misunderstanding, misperceptions that have been explained in the, or that have been made through the media. And I'd like to just take a few moments to explain that a little bit more. In the Hawaii Supreme Court's opinion from last year, January 31st, there is some language that talks about clouded title and whether or not the state has the clouded title, but to the extent that the Hawaii Supreme Court discussed that, it was very limited to just a mere observation that that was the argument of the plaintiffs. The Hawaii Supreme Court did not say whether or not the state had clouded title. And so the idea that just by finding in favor for the plaintiffs in this case, that somehow that translates to the state has a clouded title as decided by the court wouldn't be an accurate picture. Statements made earlier, just a few minutes ago, also suggest that perhaps because as a result of this ruling, that the state cannot manage these so-called ceded lands, and that while that idea might not be intended to be conveyed to you, what we do know is that when the case went back down to circuit court to Sabrina McKenna, she had to make an order that was in line with the Hawaii Supreme Court's January 31st ruling. And in that order, she said that the state may continue to enter into lease agreements and to provide licenses for people or organizations, companies to use the ceded lands. So the idea that to manage the ceded lands, you have to have the authority to sell it isn't, I don't think it's an accurate picture that's being painted. Kamehameha schools and other organizations, they manage their land assets without having to sell them. Although there may be sales, a lot of them have leasehold agreements. Another perfect example of the state being able to manage ceded lands without selling them would be the case, or the area of one of the areas that this lawsuit arose from in Maui. That development is going forward, yet it's going forward with leasehold agreements, not sales, a fee simple title. If there are no questions, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to provide this testimony.
Thank you, Derek.